What makes our technology unique in the market? Like I said, it's a very, very competitive landscape where we are. But we are incorporating two technologies into one. We're incorporating a distributed airflow, which the bubbles are equally distributed through the fluid, and a centrifugal approach. And what that does is we do that with no chemicals, and we do that on a small footprint. We also have what we call a turn-down ratio. The equipment can run at 100% capacity, or it can run at 20% capacity. Many of the competitors that we're dealing with, either the product's full on or full off. And most plants do run into upset conditions, or production levels do vary by day, by shift, by week. So we have an ability to integrate into the plant electronically, and we can run at the flow capacities of what the plant's running at today. We're a compact design. We don't, as I said, it's a mechanical process, so there's no chemical costs associated. And if you're aware of that, that can be a huge expense. And then the filtration costs can be very high as well. When a plant runs into a disrupted condition, they usually have filters. Those filters end up getting clogged, and they can be very expensive. The byproduct we provide the client is we take a dirty stream in, we provide a cleaner water and cleaner of hydrocarbon, not cleaner of salt, just cleaner of hydrocarbon. We provide them clean solids, and in some cases they may use those as stackable solids. They could reuse them again. And in some instances they may end up getting an increase in oil recovery, which helps to generate more revenue. Pictures on the left are basically a lab sample, we call them colorimetrics, of what the oil looked like. Basically in there's a varsol. So the top half is actually varsol, the varsol attached to the oil droplets, which made it move to the surface here. So the picture on the left is what the product looked like coming into our unit. The picture on the right is us removing the hydrocarbon. We talked earlier about some of the technologies that are being available here. The oil industry today, analyzes their oil-water mixture by a colorimetric scale, just what we see here. That Apache application I was telling you about, they literally have a color graph. And 3 times a day, they pull samples, and they take that sample, and they hold it up to the color graph, and then they fill out the report for the government as to say, we met our standard, we didn't met our standard. And the standards around the world for discharging in the open sea, whether on the continental shelf out of Texas, they're about 29 parts per million of hydrocarbon to water content. That's the magic formula. Some are 27, some are 32, but it averages 29 parts per million. The technology on the right is another, it's called HCXT. It's a developmental technology that we're bringing to market, and it basically deals with the solids. That's drilling fluid up in Fort McMurray, and the byproduct is clean sand. That's another technology that we're bringing to market itself. Our applications are very vast. Actually, there's more oil production on the offshore than there is onshore. And offshore water handling is a huge, huge opportunity for us. We're not experts because we're local Alberta guys, but we're working towards that market. So conventional onshore is a huge, huge market, a huge market. Unconventional, the tailing ponds isn't something that we're going to be able to attack today because the size of the magnitude and the production levels, we have to get our unit scaled. That silver building you saw there, that was 2,000 barrel a day fluid handling capacity, and we've scaled it up to about 30,000 barrels a day. That's the purpose of us working with ACAMP, is to get it to the scale where we're 200,000, 300,000 barrels a day. That's where we need to get to go after some of these larger projects. It can deal with pre-boiler feed water, where the water's got to be completely hydrocarbon free. We could be a part of the solution. We may not be the end solution. Our end game is we get down to single-digit parts per million. We don't get down to 0, but we certainly get down to that standard on the offshore. We're continually down to single-digit. The other comment would be the third-party oil and gas waste disposal industry. Some of you in the room would know of companies like Canadian Crude Separators, or Nuelta, or CanSen. And that's an application. Frac fluid recovery, you've heard all wells are fracked to stimulate. In some instances, they're using literally millions of gallons of water to frack or to stimulate the well formation, along with chemistry and a bunch of other things. And in most cases, there's about a 35% of the frac fluid comes back to surface. And we could be involved with actually separating the hydrocarbons and the chemistry and reuse that fluid again. Drilling and completion fluid recovery is the same a different application, but it would work as well. And then there's bilge water on the offshore side of the business. So our current successes, we are a commercialized company. So we should probably have been in the afternoon break, but I think you guys wanted us before lunch. So, but we are commercialized. And our first success in the Canadian market is a joint venture with a company called CanSen. And CanSen is a competitor to Nuelta or Canadian Crude Separators. They're a smaller player in the market today, but they've got some great locations. So they're a third-party treatment, recovery, disposal site. Our arrangement with them is we've entered into a joint venture where we provide them the IP and the product at cost. And in return, the joint venture, we share in the profits. So Wescorp's pretty excited about it. CanSen's going to have, we got roughly 12 locations. We believe there'll be 12 units put out in the next year. And it's going to be a great showcase for us to go to market. And working along with the ACAMP folks is helping us scale it to a larger level as well. So we're pretty excited about that. Again, our key actions are to try to get this thing scaled larger than what we've got it at today. We can't call on the folks at Syncrude or Suncor or Albion or CNRL on a scale. Their production levels are just way too large. We can't be solving problems in Brazil or Petrobras or Petroamazonas where they're doing 200,000 barrel a day production when we really only have scientifically have proven it up to a certain size. So we need to get into that arena, we need to get it to that specific size. Our management team is made up of, our CEO is out of Calgary, Doug Biles. He's actually a chemical engineer by trade. He spent most of his career in England. We work for Transworld Drilling. He's our chief technology officer as well. He's got 35 years in the oil patch and a very great resource. Mark Norris, you may remember who Mark Norris was. He's actually our chairman of our board. We have Robert Nicolai, who was a past president and CEO of NMAX, is on our board, and he's currently the VP of Business Development for Pengrowth. And then we've got some other engineers in our company as well. So we believe we've got the intellect to go forward. We're excited to be in the environmental side of the business. The producers are paying a lot of attention to the water, and our best friend is the government. They're driving better standards to deal with this water issue. And we feel that we fit in extremely well. We provide a great economical value to them. We make them help them turn green, and it's a big market. It's a big market. If you need any more information, you can contact me. I'll be around for the rest of the day. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, buddy.
Good presentation. Do you have any questions for Dave? Just one quick one. What do you see as the biggest challenge in the next 2 or 3 years for your company? It sounds like there's some big challenges there.
I think the biggest challenge is going to be the scalability.
Yeah.
I think is really where we're at. It's there's just so many players that we're not going to be able to call on, and the oil patch is a great market. They're very set in their ways, and they want in many cases they don't want to take the risk. They don't want to be the early adopter and take on something to change their processes because they're in risk that it may not work. So it is all about provability, prove the economics, and have the litmus test already proven out, and have a multiple amount of users.
Yes.
As soon as you do that, you're going to have exactly the opposite problem. Everybody's going to want it all at the same time.
Well, I did want to share one thing with you. We're really excited about is I presented this technology a little over a year ago to the Houston Technology Conference. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're sort of a think tank in Houston where they're made up of a lot of oil executives and engineers and geologists and geophysicists and the whole ball of wax. And they support new technologies coming to market. And with that meeting that I was there last year, I had a chance to present our technology to Schlumberger, Halliburton, and Weatherford at their corporate head offices. And I'm pleased to say that Weatherford has shown significant interest in our technology. Wescorp's total fluid solution is made up of 5 people. There's no way on our God's green earth we could ever take this globally. So if you've been on our website, you'll see some press releases about, we're into some negotiations with Weatherford on a global license agreements for our technology. And if they land on, if we pass the test, and we're pretty close to handing in our final assignment here,